Okay, Israel, most time for us to Bible. All right, so let's go to St. Luke, the 11th chapter. All right, so Luke 11 and verse 35, it says, Take heed therefore that the light which is in thee be not darkness. So in other words, the way that we see things and our application and our faith in the Most High, that our understanding is not the understanding of sin. I'll read it again. It says, Take heed therefore that the light, meaning the light, the laws, the understanding that you have, your examples, the way, the path, which is in thee, it be what? It be not darkness, meaning it's not deceiving you. It's not leading you down the wrong way. Because many people are fooled by what? By their own, what? Vain opinion. The scriptures say that. Go to the book of Ecclesiastes. And the 3rd chapter. And verse 24. So it says, For many are deceived by what? Their own vain opinion. That means that light that's inside of you, man, when you think it's light, it's actually it's wrong. Make sure that that light is not darkness. You got to make sure that it's not wrong. How do you do that? By examining it according to the scriptures. Examine what you think, how you feel, check your emotions. Okay, compare it. Compare the spirit with the spirit. How do you do that? Search the scriptures. Sometimes we have a hard time taking it from each other. And we take it from each other like somebody is smiting you. Like somebody is abusing you, disrespecting you. That's how we look at our reprovers at times. Okay? So it says, well, why don't we read down into it? Let's jump up to verse 18. It says, The greater thou art, a lot of us, we feel confident in what we're doing. The more humble thyself, meaning the more you're supposed to have the ability to do what? To humble yourself. When do we need humbling? We need humbling when there's pressure to do what? To sin. Okay? We need to be able to examine ourselves. We have to be able to tell when you feel in the wrong way. You've got to be able to do that. Okay? You know that things is going to go bad. Things are bad. You're feeling bad. You know that what you're hearing is something that you don't like. And because you don't like it, then you got to take control of yourself. It's called being able to rule your spirit. You have to take control of yourself. You have to take control over your mind. Because spirits are trying to do what? Get in. Spirits are trying to get in. They're trying to rule you. They're trying to control you. They're trying to enter into your thought process, trying to tell you what what to do, what to think. And though the scriptures is there, and you know the scriptures. See, some people know the scriptures, but then, man, they'll blow right past it. Like you might see somebody go through a red light when when you're driving. Somebody, you're like, whoa, they went right through that. That's how we do. The law is right there. But you blow right past the law because of the darkness, man, that's inside of us. But you can't do that. See, the strong is gonna start beginning to take heed and not let, like we read Hebrews 2:1, not let those things slip by us. You ain't gonna slip by the law. You're gonna stop. Because the law says, wait, the law drew the line. The Most High drew the line with his law. He said, you cross this line, then, hey, you out of order. But see, the strong, you ain't going to even come near that line because you know that that's the Most High put that there. So Israel, we have to examine ourselves. Okay? And the fight that we fight, man, you fighting against what? And you fighting against spirits. Okay, you're not fighting against and you're not fighting against maybe the person that you have the conflict with, although you think you are. Nah, you're fighting against spirits inside of yourself because you're supposed to be able to do what? Control yourself. You're supposed to be able to control yourself and quench any fiery dart that comes from what? The things that the spirit of Satan is trying to seduce you into being rebellious or doing your old self. You know, the old self that was constantly being corrected or being told about. Yeah, you fighting against that. And that's why you have to be able to say, nah, I can't do that. Okay? Ephesians 6. And we're going to backtrack. Ephesians 6. We're going to come back to Ecclesiastes 3, so make sure you don't lose it. Ephesians 6:12. And as we go through these precepts, what we want you to do is that we want you to imagine the situation that you get into when you're confronted with the decisions. What are you going to do? When you're confronted with frustration and anger, you confronted with your understanding, justifying yourself, man. When you confronted with that moment where you finna justify yourself, and somebody that's right there with you, maybe the reprover, is saying something different. You feel one way, the reprover feels another way. Somebody's right and somebody's wrong. Go to that moment. And Ephesians chapter 6 and 12 is going to explain to you what's going on. It says, for we wrestle not against what? Flesh and blood. The reprover. The Lord is saying, the reprover is that's not where you got your issue with. But you think so. Because you hear the tone of his voice. You hear the tone of her voice. But against principalities. See? And sometimes you may think that you're dealing with just, you call it anger and vexation and frustrated and irritated and aggravated. You don't like low, like low or petty or nothing. Now that's stupid. Or that's nothing. But no, the scriptures say that these things are huge. These things are great. These demons are high demons. Yeah, these spirits are high spirits. So you're not dealing with a bomb a weak spirit. You're dealing with a strong spirit. You're dealing with a strong presence, a strong demonic force. And it's organized. And so organized that it's after you. Because those that are asleep, meaning those that are not conscious, stay with me. So you can understand what you go through. The average person walking up and down the street, these spirits right here, they don't have to go after them. They already got them. So it takes more determined spirits and demons to get the elect of God. More persistent, like bounty hunters, like slave catchers. You know, he's watching that one show. What's the one show? My mind, y'all. I'm sorry. Underground. You know, the white boy that he just won't die. And everybody that keeps watching the show keeps saying, just kill him. He keeps coming back. You understand? Persistent evil spirit. That's who wants you. And a lot of times we just take it very lightly. And that's why sometimes we get on a day-to-day or every other day or quite frequently upset and vexed and disappointed and irritated and you know the line. The Lord said, you're not wrestling against your brother, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, meaning ones that the Lord released into this world, into this society on the earth that's invisible. See, they're invisible. You can't see them. He said, oh, you fighting against them. So when they trip you up, you can't see them. They're invisible. You can't see them. When they enter into you, you can't see it coming into you because it's invisible. Oh, it exists. It's just not visible to your naked eye. Against spiritual wickedness in high places, not low places. Like, oh, those are weak and they don't really mean anything. No, it says these are high places. So that's what you're up against. And so every time you get in a situation, now let's go back to Ecclesiastes 3. Every time you get in a situation, you have to examine yourself. You have to make sure that you stay in the spirit of the Most High. And the spirit of the Most High is about his laws. You have to deny yourself. You have to make sure that you have the ability to follow and apply this precept. Ecclesiastes 3:18. The greater thou art, great means strong. You feel you're strong. Okay, nobody's going to say, oh, I'm weak. I'm weak. Some people do that. I can't do it. But if you can't do it, then you especially need to let somebody help you. The more humble yourself. That means examine yourself. Control yourself. How do you control yourself? Okay. By comparing what you're doing or what you're thinking to the law of the Lord. That pen ain't going to teach you something. Comparing what you're thinking to the law of the Lord. Why am I saying comparing what you're thinking to the law of the Lord? I'm saying it because a lot of times we have problems humbling ourselves to who? Our reprover. The person that's trying to tell us something different than what we're thinking. Remember, Ecclesiastes 3:24, for many have been deceived by our own vain opinion. You trick yourself. You take yourself out. You know, one of the things I remind brothers or sisters, anybody, I ask them, have you been wrong before? That kind of wakes them up, like, yeah, I've been wrong. Have you been wrong in a situation where you needed to be right about something important? Yeah, I said, okay. I just sit it right there and leave it there. And I let them wonder at that point, oh, he's insinuating that I'm saying. He's insinuating that I could be wrong now. Because I can tell when somebody is wrong, but they don't know that they're wrong. I can tell because if you knew that you was wrong, then you would humble yourself. And your actions would appear to be that of what? The law of the Most High. Okay? So it says, humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor. Everybody see it? Thou shalt find what? Favor. When you find favor, you know what's then going to happen? Rest. That's right. A comfort. And a release of them demonic demons and spirits from your brain, man, from your mind, from your body. Those things will go away. Yeah. That is how you understand the favor of the Most High. But first, you got to learn how to do what? Drive. You got to learn how to drive what? Car? The spirit. Don't take it too fast. Don't take it too slow. Control it. Control yourself. Learn how to control your spirit. Learn how to rule your spirit. Learn how to tell your mind what to do. And one of the most beautiful things is that when you can, like we went over in the class before, when you can foresee it, you can avoid it. You can say, oh, they will go this way. And then you do the opposite. It'll be good for you. Stop letting jump down to the 23rd verse. Shalom, Mark. Please ask us 3:23. Stop letting this take you. Because remember, when we're wise, as we get stronger, what are we gonna do, man? We need to go the other way. Just say, I ain't gonna mess with that. But then a lot of Israelites, this is what they do. It says, be not, what? Curious. Be not curious in unnecessary matters. See, that's no good for you. To say what you say, to do what you do. Why do you be curious anyway? Then you wonder, how did I end up in this argument? How did I end up in trouble? If you ended up in unnecessary matters, what is that saying about the light in you? It's dark. It's not light at all. And it's your own understanding and it's your own vain opinion and not the Lord. If we take and follow this and we remember this, look how much better you are. Remember, we're all supposed to imagine a circumstance to where you've been into a situation to where you need to do something different. Or it's a hard circumstance. It's a hard situation. It's a very irritating situation. But if you take this, what we're talking about right now, what the Lord is bringing out right now, and you apply it, don't be curious. But humble yourself. Compare what you're doing to what the scriptures say. And instead of blowing straight through the law, but you stop at it. Because you cannot proceed no further. Look how much success you'll have. You'll have great success. Okay? So we'll go back up. When Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 19. It says, many are in high place and are renowned. But mysteries are revealed unto who? Unto the meek. this high place and renown, this is talking about among your people. There are a lot of people that look good. They got nice titles. They are known in a lot of different ways. They're respected among men. They're respected among sisters, among women. Yeah. You see them. You see the glory of them. They look good. They sound good. But the real mysteries on how they endure is revealed unto those that are serious. There's a difference. What type of person do you want to be? You want to be highly esteemed and very popular and very known? You can dress and adorn the outer appearance to look any type of way. Or do you want to get down to the nitty-gritty? If you get down to the nitty-gritty, then you got to go through tests and trials, tribulations. You're going to go through many different trials, man. And as you learn and grow in the truth, they're going to get harder and harder. And time's going to pass. And while it's getting harder and harder, it seems like you're going to get miles and wearing on your spirit. But you're going to know what to do. Because the Lord is going to reveal. He's going to deliver you out of each and every last one of those temptations again, over and over and over, will the Most High prove himself to be faithful. Because of one main ingredient, the meekness in her, which represents the seriousness, the sincereness, to where you have applied yourself every time the word of the Lord was spoken. Every single time. You let nothing slip. The Lord, you're gonna, let's get there. Hold this. That's what these precepts are talking about. Ecclesiasticus, is it 6? 6. Ecclesiasticus 8. And I'll read verse 8 and 9. What's another one I want? Ecclesiasticus 8 and 8. So it says, despise not the discourse of the wise. Meaning don't hate what they're saying, because as you learn it, there's some things that's going to come out and it's going to sound like, man, that sounds just like me, what I was doing. So you're supposed to take advantage of that and be reproved. You know what reprove is? Reprove is when somebody go and they prove it to you again. That means you've been admonished twice. Every time the word of the Most High come out, and you have to stand corrected on something, you're being told that much times again. You heard it 3 times, and you guilty of that. The Most High is telling you 3 times, and etc. That's why it says, don't hate it. Don't despise it, because what's going to end up happening? You're going to end up understanding the mysteries. You're going to end up understanding what does it take to be what? Welcomed to the Most High. What is it going to take to be honored? Okay? So it says, but acquaint thyself with their proverbs. Meaning the way they explained it, the examples that they gave. For of them thou shalt learn instruction and how to serve. Okay? Meaning how to help people. Great men. Great men meaning a lot of people. Okay? How to help a lot of people. Because in this, and we need to endure. We need to last. We need to show up day in and day out, week in and week out, year in and year out, for a duration, however long the Most High will have us. You need to learn how to keep doing it, and do it how they say grudgingly. See, no. Most High's he's trying to get your spirit conditioned like what's that? Telecom. A distance. He's trying to show you how to go the distance. You can serve great men. This is not talking about, somebody that's going to be great and I'm going to serve them. No, Christ said he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. What a lot. You're not going to get tired of dealing with your people. They're not going to wear you thin. So if we're complaining about our patience being wore thin, and we're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you know what that is? That's because we're not maybe humbling ourselves enough. And understanding that, guess what? The things that we're taught, we actually have to apply it ourselves and then teach it to the people that are making you tired. And then teach it not from a personal point of view, but from a spiritual point of view. And when you teach them, guess that's on them. That's their decision to make. That's their life they have to live. It's not yours. Don't carry it with you. Don't take it with you. Leave it right there. I've learned to do that. I deal with a lot of different people, and I have a lot of different people with their problems. You know what I do? I leave it right there with them. I come out of the scriptures, and I leave it right there with them. It's non-personal. If you're a liar, guess what? You're a person that lies. I got to shoot it straight to you and say, hey, yo, that's not forthcoming. That's not very honest. That's very deceitful. And this is the reason why you have that. If you commit whoredom and wickedness, you commit whoredom and wickedness. The Most High's got judgment for that. And it ain't eternal life. It's weeping and gnashing of teeth. If you're a thief, then the Most High has got something for you too. And I leave it with them. Learn to leave it with those people. And you keep going. You'll be able to learn how to deal with those people with ease. Not bringing a job home. Because this is a job. And the truth is, you got to get started. You have to get started. Okay, verse 9, it says, don't you miss not the discourse of the elders. So when they teaching, when we're teaching, I'm your elder. So when I'm teaching, the scriptures say you aren't supposed to miss when I'm teaching. You're supposed to be right there listening with both your ears wide open. Because I'm here to make you an elder. The Most High is here to make you an elder. I'm here to teach you how to get to that point. How to survive. Okay? How to survive. You have a lot of people, they thinking, oh man, what is it like in the world? They're curious. That's not going to go very far for them. Don't you miss not the discourse. But they also learned of their fathers, meaning from their elders. Fathers in this truth. The Most High give us fathers in this truth to teach us. And of them thou shalt learn what? Understanding. We started off dealing with that light that's in the body, that's in your body. You have to understand that light that's inside of your body. According to Luke 11. You don't have to go back. We're going to go back and get to more Luke 2, but I'm just going to quote it. Luke 11 and 35. It says, take heed, therefore, that the light which is in thee be not darkness. We learn. I had to learn and understand about that light that was inside of me. It was dark. I had to learn to turn that thing around to where it's the true light of the Lord. I'm trying to show you how to do the same thing. But first, you got to stop reasoning and negotiating with wickedness, which is what? Your own vain opinion. And be taught and be showed. What? Be showed how to understand. And thou shalt learn understanding. Back in Ecclesiastes 8 and 9. And to give answer as need required. Next thing you know, what's going to happen? And somebody's going to be asking you, how do I do this? How do I do that? The Most High will bring a brother to you, asking you, how do I do this? How do I do that? The Lord will bring sisters to you, sisters, that'll ask you how to make this happen. How do I do that? Okay, let's see. I think there was one more before I went back. It's Ecclesiastes 6:35. So it says, be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. That's the Hebrews 2:1, where you don't let it slip. Okay? Okay, back to Ecclesiastes chapter 3. 3 and verse 18, the greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord. Now remember what that favor was, right? Rest. We all want to feel better during times of what? Frustration and hardships and hard times. Remember, the Lord said he would not suffer us to be tempted how? Above that which you are able to stand. So the Most High will find favor. The Most High will, and he'll send that comforter unto you. Okay? We could get that. Go to St. John.
$14.
Thank you. St. John chapter 14 and verse 15. Actually, I'll start in St. John 14:13. Whatsoever ye shall ask in my name, because during our times of need, we're going to be praying and we're going to be asking. And the Lord, by his Spirit, by us having his Spirit, he already know how we feel. Remember, the Lord said we don't have a high priest that cannot be touched with our infirmities. I mean, in other words, he feels what we feel. He understands what we feel. A lot of times people that you might feel that the Most High don't understand your afflictions. He don't understand what you're going through. He do know. Okay? He do know. So sending up prayers, the Most High knows. It says, whatsoever you ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. So Christ is doing his job. The Most High is going to be happy with Christ because he's doing his job. The same way that the Most High will be happy in us when we're doing our job. But we're doing our job towards others because Christ has taught us. So now we're asking the Most High to help us. So it says, if you ask anything in my name, I will do it. If you love me, keep my commandments. So why did he say that? Because a lot of times we may ask for certain carnal things, and it seems slack in the midst, it seems slow, things like that. But the Most High is trying to get us into a rhythm of applying the commandments when we're taught the word of the Most High, and when we instruct it, and when we are reproved. When somebody is proving to you that this is the way to go, that is what you're supposed to be doing. This is how you don't think. This is what you don't say. So when you get reproved, okay, and you keep the commandments, and you're going to apply them, the Lord said those things it's going to lead into you having that spirit of being restored. It says, and I will pray the Father, and he will give you another comforter. You see? That he may abide with you forever. So now the Most High, so now Christ is asking the Most High to give you the spirit of the comforter that will come unto you and do what? And abide with you forever. And that spirit abiding with you forever is going to react in a residual manner. Residual meaning it's going to always do its job. You understand? It's going to replenish itself. Whenever you need, it's going to replenish itself. Okay? But let's see what that spirit of comfort that Christ said that he will pray to the Most High and the Most High will give it to you. Verse 17, it says, even the spirit of truth. Okay? Even the spirit of truth. So that means that anybody that loves, believes, follows, obeys is going to be able to do what? Edify yourself. Because you're not going to be detached from reality. You're not going to blow past the line the Most High drew, which is his law. He said, this is the law. The commandments that were written with the finger of the Lord, you can't ignore that, man. He didn't say, oh, that I can't do that. That's no good. The spirit of truth is going to put all spirits in check. And when we stop at that spirit of truth and we acknowledge it, then and apply it, because you can't acknowledge it but not apply it, saying that you understand. Then those spirits are under command to leave you alone. Because you within what? The statutes of the Lord. You're doing what the Most High say to do. You're following it. You trusted in the Most High. And when you trust and put your faith and hope in the Lord, casting your care upon him, the Most High is not unrighteous to forsake you. The Lord said, look at the generations of old and see. Were they confounded? They was not confounded. They were not forsaken. Or did any ever trust in the Lord and was forsaken? Now, so our foreparents did this. They were obedient to the word of the Most High, and the light inside of it was true light. It wasn't mixed and mingled with wickedness and leaven and malice. But they had truly accepted the Most High and became wise themselves. And that's why it's written about them. Now it's your time to set the example. The Lord, although the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, now the Most High has got his servants and prophets whom he predestinated. And now the Most High is justifying, but at the same time, the Most High is also teaching you to return back up to him and repent. And forsake the ways of wickedness. Because this is how things get overthrown. The Most High is shown unto him a righteous plan. Now that's you. Don't turn it to be degenerate. Now you don't do that. Because all the ones that did that, they're going to be left out. But that's not us. That's not you guys. Okay? So now, St. John 14:17, it says, even the spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive. It says, because they see him not. So the world is a lot of people, man. A lot of your people, they can't see what the Most High is doing with you. Because of the things that the Most High is doing with you, is spiritual first. Yeah, it's spiritual first. And then it's physical. Then it's the outward appearance. The way that you dress. If you change your spirit, the outward man will change, man. The look of the outward man, that'll change. I've seen them both ways, man. I've seen somebody here and change the outward appearance, and the inward man, he's never changed. And then they try to deceive people by, the sheep's clothing. That's why Christ said inwardly they are ravening wolves. He said, beware of men like that. But the only way to be able to tell the difference is that you have to be true to the Lord. If you be true to the Most High, then you're going to be able to evaluate a situation one way, and that's by a person's action, not seeing through your emotions. We got to kill the affections and lust of the flesh. The scriptures say that of Christ have crucified the affections thereof. You can't walk around affectionate, man, emotional. Because those spirits, man, that the Most High has got in the earth, they get inside of people. And they rule them through emotions. And when those emotions come out of their flesh, you looking upon them and you have a mercy and compassion, but you're not really realizing that you're dealing with a spirit. You're dealing with a spirit. And that spirit's whole objective is to get you to give place to it. And once you give place to it, then that causes you to sin. That's why you have to stay in the scriptures. And you examine the actions of the person, and you say, those actions don't line up with the Bible. That's wrong. Then you draw a line. You say, no, I can't do this. This is the scriptures. I got to stay in the scriptures. If I stay in the scriptures, then you do that. And they can't do that. And then when they know they can't do it, the first thing they'll try to do is get you to be emotional again with them. And the process will start all over again. Over and over and over until they deceive you. That's why if somebody is not going to be spiritual, you have to forsake them. You have to forsake them. There's no way you could love them more than the Most High. There's no way. No way. The Most High talked to Ezra about that. Through Uriah, he said, listen, you come far short in trying to love my creature more than me. I'm telling you to leave them alone. Ain't that something else? How many of you before have had a relative tell you to leave a relative of theirs alone because they ain't no good? And a lot of times if you don't listen, you end up hurt. The person with inside purity to you would straight tell you, hey, this person ain't no good for you. Yeah. I knew a brother that told me that a mother told him to what her daughter was going to do. He said shortly after, the girl did everything that the mother told him that she would do. Yeah. But sometimes because of emotions, you don't listen to the warning. You just pretty much go off emotions. You can't do that. You have to go off the scriptures. But let's finish verse 17. It says, because they seeth him not, neither knoweth him. So they didn't take the place to know him. How do you get to know the Most High? By keeping the commandments. Okay? It says, but ye know him. For he dwelleth what? He dwelleth with you. Okay? And shall be where? In you. When did somebody get inside of you? Did you see him? Of course you didn't. Why? Because he's invisible. You see? So he got inside of you. But when he got inside of you, what did he cause you to do while he was there? This is how you know when Christ is in you. This is how you know when the Most High is in you. Ezekiel 36. Okay. Ezekiel 36:25. It says, then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and you shall be clean from all your filthiness and from your idols. That's the way you wash your garment. The Most High said he would put water upon us, and we will be clean. That's why we have to listen. That's why we have to humble ourselves and our mind greatly. Because while we're listening, the Most High put us under obedience and told us to desire discipline so that we could stay there and take that mental scrubbing, that spiritual scrubbing. So I say, you listen to his elders, because his elders are his sons. The elders in Israel, man, is the sons of the Lord. They're his servants, they're his prophets, they're his messengers, they're his ministers, they're his pastors, they're his teachers. So when they're teaching you, there's a cleansing going on, a spiritual cleansing of your mind. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you. That's when it is. You're like, wait a minute, nobody put me. And you shall be clean from all your filthiness. Not some of it, but all of it. You're only going to feel right. Listen to what I tell you. You're only going to feel right when you let it all go. See? When you let it all go. It says from all filthiness. Things that people correct you on, they tell you about, you got to let it all go, man. You can't hold on to it. You can't hold on to anger. You can't hold on to lust. You can't hold on to the traditions or customs. You can't hold on to the following the Sabbath day. Israelites, you got to stop missing the how holy days of the Lord. You got to let it all go. Because the Lord he's trying to cleanse you from everything, man. You got to rule your spirit, control your tongue. You're like, oh, I believe, but I got a problem with the stuff I say. But then you're not all the way clean then. You're trying to give yourself an honest chance. So then you have to let it all go. The Most High tell us about friendship of the world is enmity with God. You know what friendship with the world is? That means you're going to dwell with somebody and you're going to ignore their offense in the law. You're going to ignore that. Do you not really realize that was the reason why the Mayflower? That's the reason why the heathens reigned. The people that you with and the people that you hang out with and socialize with and you ignore their actions, that is the reason why we in a captivity today. You have to let go of all filthiness. You got to let go of evil communication. It's corrupting you. It's going to corrupt you. Yeah, it's going to corrupt you, man. It says, and from your idols. Okay? The idols, meaning the false worship of graven images, things that you put before the Most High. Okay, whether it's some type of extra curriculum or a job, anything that you put before the Most High. It could be a career. It could be a talent. How do we know? America has made an idol. America has made a show, American Idol. And the idol is the throne of singing. They say, hey, I'm the best person that America can find in this year. Every year they do it. And everybody is going for that one status, to be the idol of America. See, idolatry is anything that you set up, man, and you esteem more important than the Most High. This is your profession. This is your job. The Lord said you come away from a fatherhood. So you're supposed to let us teach you how to dwell in this society without abusing it. You're supposed to let us teach you what to let go and what to keep, how to live, how to be content. The scriptures say with godliness, to be content and with godliness is great gain. Most are like, man, You like trying to be rich. Let's say that was a song. I want to be rich. I want to be rich. Full of love, peace, and happiness. All the time, man, you forsake the Most High. While the Israelites forsake the assembling of themselves together, the Lord said, will I cleanse you? And will cleanse you from all of that behavior. If I teach you, a new heart will I also give to you. He said, I'm going to change the way that you think. And a new spirit will I put within you. That's right. So the behavior that we have now, the Lord said, no, I'm going to get rid of that. You're going to have a loving, when I say loving, meaning an obedient, one that's not aimed towards self-hatred or hatred towards your people. A new heart will also give you, a new spirit will I put within you, and I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh. So this process hasn't happened yet if somebody's telling you, you hard-headed. You don't listen. They're telling you that for a reason, because you don't listen. You second guess what they tell you. And I will give you a heart of flesh, meaning one that can be shaped and molded and taught. And I will put my spirit within you. This is how you know. This is what the scripture is talking about in St. John 14. He said he's going to be with you and in you. With you and in you. So you're not alone. With you to protect you, your help. You're not alone. And inside of you. Okay? So if he's inside of you, how is Satan getting inside of you? Satan is not going to be inside of you. Because you're going to know what to do. It's going to tell you that. And I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes. See that? We know what the statutes are. You're going to live within reason. Everybody understand that? You're going to live within reason. What is the reason? You're going to live between, you're going to dwell between the statutes, the limitation. I always give an example. Okay? Speed limit 60 miles an hour on the highway. That's the limit. The least you can do is 40. You're going to dwell between 40 and 60. You're going to dwell between 40 and 60. You're going to travel between 40 and 60. Okay? And you shall keep my judgments. The judgment is what the Lord determined. Okay? Like the Most High might say, not might, we'll use something that the Lord did say. The Lord said, kindle in the fire. You should kindle no fire upon the Sabbath day. That means that you're not supposed to do what? Cooking. Okay? No cooking. No cooking. Okay? That's the judgment. The Lord said no. He's already settled it, bam. So what, do you accept that? Or do you want chicken wings? It's Friday night. We got a movie. We got wing sauce, teriyaki sauce, sweet and sour sauce. People like, I just don't think that God is going to be mad at me for cooking chicken wings. So you trying to tell me chicken wings I'm going to go to hell. They don't even understand what hell is. You're already in hell. And yes, things are going to get bad. Things are going to get worse for you. For doing what? Because you desire, you know what I'm saying, to disobey the word of the Most High, to break the commandment, Exodus 28. The Lord said, remember the Sabbath. In order for you to remember it, man, you'd have to go and find the do's and the don'ts pertaining to the Sabbath day. Remember, Exodus 35 talks about the kindling of the fire. And it also tells you that if you do so, then and during that time, they will be put to death. So when you read the New Testament, it tells you that those that did not apply the Sabbath day, what would happen to them? And there was a fearful looking of them being left behind because they didn't rest. So that's a statute. You have to understand, you have to keep that judgment. That's what I'm wanting to say. The Most High determined that judgment. The Most High determined that ruling. That's what a judgment is. The Most High determined that ruling. It's like you might go to court and somebody say, what did the judge say? The judge said I had to do this. Now you might have an issue with what he determined, or you might be good. He ruled in my favor. What he said, you have to accept. The Lord said you have to accept what he said. And you see those last three words. And what? That's right. And do them. You have to accept what he said. So now, let's go back. Please ask us 3. Okay. Please ask us chapter 3. And verse 20. So it says, the power of the Lord is great, and he is honored of the of the lowly. Once again, the power of the Lord is great, and he is honored of the lowly. Question. If the Lord is inside of us, I'll go and get it. Well, remember, St. John 14, right? Christ said he would be with us, that the Comforter will be with us, and where else? And in us. Okay, so now, when you see, please ask us 3 and 20, and it says the power of the Lord is great. What else can that power be? What about inside of us? Huh? Can that power be inside of you? Yes. That's what we need to prove. To who? We need to prove that to ourselves first. Everybody see it? Now, let's not think above the class. Because the class is about the light that's in you. That's what this is about. And the power of the Lord is also having the power to do what? Overcome sin and temptation. Not so much as well. Those miracles are for the Most High, so we ain't talking about that. Okay? We're talking about the power to do what? Overcome sin. So now with you having that power to overcome sin, how does that make you look now? Yeah, it makes you look a lot better because the Most High is inside of you. So this is telling you that you should actually be doing a lot better than what we're doing because there's something that's inside of us that we need to recognize what it is. You got the strength. You just got to use it. You've got the strength to say no. It's inside of your mind. That's the spirit that Christ said that will be in you. Okay? Verse 21. Oh, the latter part, 20, says, for he is honored. He is honored of the lowly, meaning the Most High knows who love him. Okay? The Most High knows who love him. Who's actually calling upon the Lord? Asking for help. Praying. Asking the Most High to give them the strength, the power, the understanding, to be with them on a daily basis. He said, those that are serious. And also those that are lowly. But then you got another part of the world, another part of your people that the Most High knows about, which part the Lord is totally against. Luke 16. Luke 16, and I'll start at verse 13. So it says, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, else he would hold on to the one and despise the other. You cannot love the Most High. You cannot love the Most High and mammon. Meaning those things that are pertaining to the world and to society. You're trying to go after being a movie star, being a singer. I want to be a professional dancer. I want to be this famous athlete. I want to be great. You like people. You like the witchcraft of the crowd. You don't know it's witchcraft. But you like the praise of men. That's what the world is all about. I gotta rock the clothes. I need this. I need that. I need this money. I need the clothes. I can't dress like this. You see other people and they look nice with this and they look nice with that, and you gotta have this, that, and the other. The scriptures say you focused on that. There's no way you can focus on the Most High at the same time. That's what this means. You gotta let one of them go. And if you try to maintain both of them, you are already holding on to one and hate the other. And the reason why you hate the other is because the other is going to be the Most High. Because those that are part of your life, they're going to be reproving you, telling you how you're not focused, you're not paying attention, you're not all the way here, man. Where you at? Either you forsaking assembly, you're not paying attention, you're not growing, you're making mistakes. You can see the error and mistake in the flesh happening every other month. 2-3 months go by, the same thing. To you, it's been a long time, but to the people that's constantly in your life to help you and to sharpen you, it was like yesterday. You headed for a fall. And it's all over the world. Verse 14. It says, and the Pharisees. So this saying Pharisees, do you not really know that the Pharisees, there are a lot of Pharisees today. But they don't go by Pharisee now. That's the deception right there. Everybody is Israel. Everybody prophets of the Lord. Everybody got camps. Everybody got congregations. Everybody. See, it's hard to see now. It's not, though. It's not. It's not. The way that you can tell the difference is because love one for another. And you're supposed to love your people. If you love your people, then you would teach your people. You let the Most High sort them out. That's a different thing. You let the Most High sort them out. And also, the Pharisees don't respect Yahushua. They don't respect Yahushua, and they don't listen to Paul. Those are the Pharisees, guys. They don't listen to Paul, and they don't respect Yahweh. They have his mouth and his name, but their actions, the spirit on them, I don't look too far to it. So the Pharisees also, which were what? Covetous. You know what covetous is? They were all about themselves. That's what it is, covetous. They were all about themselves. They heard these things and they derided them. So they hated them. And he said unto them, ye or they which justify yourselves before men, but God knoweth your hearts. But that which is highly esteemed among men is an abomination in the sight of God. So the Pharisees was what among men? They were highly esteemed. That's right. They were highly esteemed. So there are men now that are highly esteemed among men. And Israelites that's not in the commandments of the Most High and following Christ according to the Scriptures, they don't see these men as Pharisees. Because these men claiming Yahushua. They claiming Christ. But yes, they are Pharisees. They are against Christ. And they are stumbling blocks. There's a bunch of them too. So the point is, the Scriptures say, amongst the lowly, the Most High is honored. And those that are highly esteemed are an abomination to the Lord. So, don't let this world corrupt you to where your desires are, I want to be highly esteemed. I want to be rich. I want to be famous. I want to be somebody. It's okay to have love one for another, and you want others to love you, but make sure that you're in the commandments. And if you want somebody to respect and keep the commandments, you'll get the love. You'll get the love. I was listening to a class earlier that made a lot of sense. Something that we taught here, and it was bringing out an example about John the Baptist. So Israel, these same Pharisees, man, they were around then, before Christ, before John the Baptist, during the birth of John, when he was a child, and all of that. But John the Baptist, he was brought up by his mother and father and whomever they dealt with, and he was kept, the Scripture say, in the desert until the day of his showing. You understand? And still, the man he taught the Scriptures very efficiently and very well. And the Most High used him to teach Israel baptism on how the same way that we would cleanse our flesh, that we would also have to do what? Cleanse our spirit. So he blew right past, because he kept the Most High's commandments. He blew right past those men. Those men that, I don't think he didn't trip off of them. But he did what he needed to do. And that's what you've been, taught to do. You don't worry about the men that are in your time period. You just worry about applying these commandments and being true and faithful and having that meek and lowly spirit to where you're going to be sincere and you're going to be serious. Don't set your height on men. Set your height on the Most High in Christ. Because when you do that, then you're going to do well and you're going to be honored. The Most High is going to receive you. But if you set your mind here and you either in this world and you covet, meaning the only thing, it's selfishly, man, you just want to do your own thing, then you're going to end up being an abomination unto the Lord. The Lord is going to reject you. He's going to look at you as something that's vile, detestable unto him. So I brought this precept out. There's two types of people. There's lowly and there's a highly esteemed. And the lowly were honored of the Lord, but the highly esteemed was an abomination unto the Lord. All right. So back to Ecclesiastes 3. Ecclesiastes 3:21. It says, seek not out the things that are too hard for thee. So everybody has a learning capacity. Neither search the things that are above thy strength, but what is commanded thee. So there's no need to move on. If there are certain things that you know that you have not applied, there's no need to move on. You got to deal with what's commanded you. Because it's the Lord that knows how to open up your understanding for you to understand and comprehend certain things. Your mind can't hold and handle certain things. Things that are above your strength. It's too much for you. So it says, seek not out the things that are too hard for thee, neither search out the things that are above thy strength. You got people studying Egyptology, but they don't understand the commandments of the Lord. But what is commanded thee, think upon with reverence. That means with fear and respect. Learn the do's and the don'ts. Okay? For it is not needful for thee to see with thine eyes the things that are in secret. Be not curious of unnecessary matters, for more things are showed unto thee than men understand. And what that means is, it's possible for you to go into an environment where there's 200-300 people, and you understand more than all of them. That's because you know the Most High and His commandments and His laws. That's what's important. Not science, not Esau and his school and his education, not some American trade, but the laws, statutes, and the commandments. Some of you would go around a doctor and feel intimidated. You might go around a nurse and feel totally shook. You could feel like a box of rocks. Like, damn, oh, I'm less. I don't, they got the suit on, or they got the nurse got the nurse's thing on or whatever, or the lawyer's got the tie and suit on or whatever. And you totally feel, you may totally feel, deflated. Your ego is deflated. No. The Lord said, more things are showed unto thee. I'll read it again. For more things are showed unto you than men understand. Okay? This is the strength and the power of men. This is the fountain. Oh, it is. Wisdom of Solomon 1. In verse 5. It says, the word of the God, the word of power Most High, the word of the Most High is the fountain of wisdom. The word of God Most High is the fountain of wisdom. So now if you got the word of the Most High, Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 5. The word of the Most High is the fountain of wisdom. Oh, I'm sorry. Please ask us one. Why I say Wisdom of Solomon? Because of what wisdom is that? I'm sorry. Please ask us 1 and 5. The word of the Most High, the word of God Most High is the fountain of wisdom. So now you're somebody with the commandments, and you standing next to some doctor. When I say doctor, I mean, okay, they're in a doctor in the hospital, whatever, on one side, and the other side, there's somebody prominent. What we say, a lawyer or something in this world, a big-time lawyer. Let's name one more person. An athlete. Okay. An athlete or a singer or something. And you totally feel less now. You feel deflated. Why? You got the most important thing on the planet. You got the most important thing on the planet. It says the word of the Lord, the Most High, is the fountain of wisdom. So if that's inside of you, you got the fountain of wisdom. It don't get no better than that, is what I'm proving to you. The problem is, if you got this carnal spirit inside of you, that's evil. That's the problem there. All right? Let's go back. One more before we go back to Ecclesiastes 3. Matthew 11.
Hey, can I add to that point if you don't mind?
Sure, brother.
Okay, I guess like I would just quote the precept in Corinthians where the Most High say he confound like the wisdom of this world. Like an example, like all the doctors and lawyers and stuff, how doctors, they don't be able to understand why people get sick or what be wrong with them. But the Most High, with his wisdom, he tells us how to avoid getting sick, how to avoid the judgments, how to avoid, our flesh and bones, like failing us and stuff like that, as well as like a lawyer. You got like divorce lawyers and things like that. They spend all their time and energy on trying to beat out the next person, like the spouses, they trying to win most money and things like that, versus he don't have that ability to stop them from getting divorced. You know what I'm saying? He make his money off people's downfall versus having the wisdom of the Most High to say, hey, no, save the marriage and apply this, a deal like this and deal like that. The Most High said he confound that worldly wisdom with his wisdom.
Exactly. Right. That's a good point. He just paraphrasing. You want it right down. Oh, okay. What you said was the water, Corinthians. He said.
One second, let me find it. I just was paraphrasing it, so I didn't take it away or nothing like that.
He said in Corinthians. All right, go ahead.
1 Corinthians 3 and 19.
All right. Okay, so we're going to go to 11:11. Matthew 11. And I'm going to start at verse 9. Did you write it down? Okay. So it says, but what went out ye for to see? A prophet? Now I'll start at verse 7 at the top. So Matthew 11 and 7. And as they departed, Yahushua began to say unto the multitude concerning John, what went ye out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken with the wind? But what went ye out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment, meaning in nice clothing. You think he's going to go out there and you was going to see? Because a lot of these guys you see, they be clothed really nice. You see the hypocrites in Christianity with the nice suits and stuff like that. Behold, they that wore soft clothing are in kings' houses. But what went ye out for to see? A prophet? Yea, I say unto you, more than a prophet. The next thing that Christ is going to say is it's kind of scary. For this is he of whom it is written, behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee. Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there have not been risen a greater than John the Baptist. So all the men that had ever been born of women, There's nobody that was greater than John the Baptist. Okay, John the Baptist was on fire. His ministry and his teaching was fire. Okay? So you think there's some teachers now. John the Baptist was on fire. I mean, that brother taught the word of the Most High. He cut Israel. He didn't give them no slack. He was edifying, everything. The man got beheaded for teaching. He's decapitated. Murdered. That's right, for teaching. Okay? It's not finished, though. It says, notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is what? Is greater than he. So what manner of people you think we ought to be? He said, there has nobody been born greater than John the Baptist. But even the last person that makes it in the kingdom is better than John. What manner of people you think we ought to be? You think we have time to sin, time to mess up, time to make mistakes? We better get our faith in check. You don't have time. You don't have time for the light inside of you to lust endlessly, for the spirit inside of you to lust endlessly. You don't have the spirit. You don't have time for the spirit to be inside of you, man, to be dark. That light to be dark. We know John the Baptist. We don't come close. We can't even compare ourselves. What did he say? He said he couldn't even lace Christ's shoes. We probably couldn't even lace John the Baptist's shoes. Just food for thought. Okay? So let's go back. Ecclesiastes 3. Ecclesiastes 3:22, it says, but what is commanded thee, think upon with reverence. So we need to spend our time doing what? Thinking about the stuff that's commanded us. Have respect for it so that we can do what? Get ourselves in order. For it is not needful for thee to see with thine eyes the things that are in secret. It's a planet flat. Do it rotate. What's the distance to another planet? What's that got to do with you? What is it? Is that gonna stop you from being angry? From being disrespectful, for tale-bearing, for gossiping, for being envious, defying the Sabbath? That's gonna make you turn the stove off if you knew? Christ said, he said, John the Baptist, man, there's nobody born among men among women greater than John. But he that is least in the kingdom is greater than John. John the Baptist was on fire, man. He was a prophet indeed that taught the word of the Most High and believed perfectly to the day of his death. It's like his cousin. Christ was his cousin, his first cousin. We need to think about these commandments and what's commanded us. And don't let your mind get distracted, because the reward that we're after is achievable, but it's achievable to those that are sincere and honestly fighting the fight. And if your heart is after this world, this is your reward. Don't get lost. Okay, verse 24. It says, for many are deceived by what? Their own vain opinion. That means their own mind. on what they think. And an evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment. Okay. We use that precept for a lot of different situations. But sometimes you think you're right, man, and you be wrong. And your judgment, your thinking process is given to covetousness. It's flop-sided, man. Your mind is so desperate to where it's ruling in favor of your desire. And you can't let that happen. You have to check that. That's why you have to constantly meditate in the laws. Because if you constantly meditate in the laws, then you know what's going to happen? Then you're supposed to remind yourself of the truth and the way and the life. You're supposed to remind yourself of that. Therefore, your own suspicion is not going to overthrow your outcome. Remember the judgment? The judgment is the conclusion. At the end of the thing, you're not supposed to conclude that, that wickedness is what's something that's right. You're not supposed to come to a conclusion like that. That means that your mind is corrupted, and the spirit inside of you is an evil spirit instead of the spirit of Christ. That the Lord said that He would give us the spirit of truth, the comforter that would abide with us and will not leave nor forsake us. Verse 25, our point, it says, without eyes thou shalt want light. So it's going to go right back into what? To where you actually need help. You need somebody to see for you. To show you even how to look. To show you what to look for. Without eyes thou shalt want light, man. Because you're going to be in darkness, is what the scripture's saying. You're supposed to learn. And you're supposed to allow people to help you. Profess not the knowledge, therefore, that thou hast not. A lot of times people be professing that they're on a level. People be professing and they have not learned. I see a lot of that. I met a lot of men that has not been through a learning process. But they profess that they know the Most High. And they profess that themselves are ready to do what? Teach. Not understanding that it's a big responsibility and great judgment come behind the responsibility of teaching people. The scriptures say we're going to receive a greater condemnation. That means we're going to be judged very severely at a more scrutiny, at a more higher level, because we're not professing ourselves to be students. We're professing ourselves to be masters. Master means teacher. So when Christ went to Nicodemus and he began to teach Nicodemus, he asked him, ain't you a master in Israel, and don't you know it's not this? So what's going to happen with us when judgment comes to us? The Christ is judging us every day. He's evaluating us every day. You understand? He's evaluating us every day. So if you're in a position to where you're trying to show somebody, you're trying to teach somebody, you need to know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right? We understand that?
Gotcha.
First Corinthians 12. First Corinthians 12:31. Conference call. Mute your phone if you can. So it says, but covet earnestly the best gifts. And yet show I unto you a more excellent way. So you could desire to be an apostle, prophet, a teacher, somebody that works miracles, have the gift of healing, speaking in tongues, interpreting. He said, but you can cover all of that. And even then, will I show you what? He said, I'm going to show you a better way. And the better way that he's going to show you is 13 is, right? Charity. Charity. So you could want to be highly esteemed. He said, but hey, the best thing for us is to be charitable. Okay? So now let's go back to Luke. Okay, Luke 11. Okay. Luke 11 and verse 33. It says, no man, when he have lighted a candle, put it in a secret place, neither under a bushel, but on a candlestick, that they which come in may see the light. So now we have turned our heart back into the Most High. The light that's inside of us, we're not supposed to be afraid of or ashamed of it. We're not supposed to hide it. But it has to be seen. Okay? We're the Israelites. It has to be seen. We believe we keep the commandments of the Lord. So anybody that's ashamed of Christ, Christ said, I'm going to be ashamed of you because you're hiding the light. This is something that we can't play games with. The light of the body is what? Is the eye. We understand it. The physical, the real body, all of our flesh. Your hands don't see. Your hands are only moving because your eyes are telling it which direction to go and what to do. So the light of the body, man, is the eye. Okay? Therefore, if thy eye is single, thy whole body also is full of light. Meaning, if your eye being single, meaning if it responds and goes in one direction, and that direction is talking about the way of the Lord, then it's full of light. Okay? It's going to do the right thing. But if thine eye is evil, then thy body also is full of darkness. Okay? So how would our eyes be evil? By letting it wander away out of the way of understanding. If we let our eye go astray from the commandments of the Lord, then it's going to take our body into temptation and into the world and into destruction. Take heed, therefore, that the light which is in thee be not darkness. Okay. Make sure that the light that's in our mind is not sinful. And we're not persuaded and convinced and deceived that the stuff that's wicked, that we're calling it good and we're calling it acceptable. Remember, the Lord said, woe unto him that call evil good and call good evil. And you can't let that happen. You can't let your own mind deceive and corrupt you into thinking that something that is sinful and corrupt is acceptable unto the Lord. Not when all the precepts are telling you that if you forsake the law, you praise in the wicked. but such as keep the law do what? Contend with them. And that's why you might have people reproving you and showing you, saying, hey, don't do this, don't do that, because they're trying to reprove you because you've forsaken the law, man. Your eyes have caused your flesh to wander away. And then you got the reprover that's there trying to do what? That's contending with you. All right? So it says, if thy whole body therefore be full of light, having no part dark, and that's what we're shooting for. The whole shall be full of light. That's what we're shooting for. We're shooting for these days to where we begin to start winning and we're overcoming sin and temptation, and we have ruler and powership over our spirit and over our mind, and we cleansed our mind from wickedness. We've truly repented and brought forth the fruits of repentance, and also we able to do what? Control our tongue. We'll get this and finish this precept. First, let's go to James. James chapter 3. And we just want the point. James 3 and 2. So it says, in many things we offend. If any of man offend not in word, the same as a perfect man. So that's what we're shooting for. That's what you're shooting for. You're shooting for the time you get up in the morning, your afternoon, your evening, good night. And everywhere you go, you're not offending somebody with what you're saying. You're shooting for that. How many of us throughout the day that we're intentionally trying to make sure that you don't have to raise your hand or nothing, but how many of us throughout the day we're trying to make sure that we don't cause conflict or we don't end up in an altercation? I mean, if you're doing that, that shows the effort. That shows that you're fighting. That's good. More of us ought to do that. Because the more of us that do that, you might want to check that. Go up above the number that you see. When you do that, let's see what it says again. For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same as a perfect man. See that? So you got to control your mouth. If the stuff that you're saying is not offensive, oh, and here's the other thing. Don't try and make somebody accept how you are. If they're telling you don't like it, if they don't like it, stop it. That means stop it. You say, okay, I can't do that again. And if it's a burden and it's a problem for you to do that, then that's an issue. You're not going to be a perfect person. I hope we're understanding that. If somebody is asking you to stop, you have to stop. You got to say something different or don't say nothing at all. Some of you need not to just say anything because what you do say is not acceptable. And you don't realize that part. In your mind, you're going to force your way. That's darkness right there. It really is. If any man offend not in word, the same as a perfect man, and able also to bridle the body. Then that means you're able to control yourself. And you're also able to teach people. Because now you're able to communicate unto all. You know how to communicate. You know how to communicate with the good, and you know how to communicate with the froward. Because you have self-control. You know how to choose your words. You also know how to choose the battles too. You know the ones to fight, and you know the ones not to fight. Can we walk away from people? Most definitely. Please do. But that's only if they being totally disrespectful and out of order. Yeah. Somebody being disrespectful and they would not hear the word of the Lord? Okay. You don't have to be disrespectful yourself, and don't be sarcastic, because you're not going to be perfect in that. And you're not going to be perfect in that case there. You sarcastically walking away, you're wrong too. You don't get credit for that. With everything that lies within you, you have to try and be at peace with that person. Okay? And after you've tried that, then you let them know, hey, you know what? It'd be nice if you understood. I'm going to let you think about what's being said. And don't let them bait you to stay there and provoke you, because that's all. Satan he's a corrupter. You know, the scriptures say don't sow the pearls among swine. You got some pig Israelites, man. You got some corrupt and wicked Israelites. You don't have to stand there and take that. The Lord said, reprove not a scorner. Please start get thyself a blot. You sitting there, you're like, they Israel. You're going to sit there and you're going to be hated and an ill name, and now you all drawing off the spirit. No, man. The thing is, stay in the spirit, man. Keep the faith and stay in the spirit. And with everything, give an honest effort. But before we even get to that point, it's like some self-work that we got to do individually, man. Before you even train to even do that. And a lot of times people think, oh, that ain't nothing to do. Well, why you always end up in an argument if you think it's so easy? You know how somebody walked away from you? Why do you think they walked away from you? Because you was causing contention. Because you wasn't listening. All right? Let's see. Baruch, almost finished. The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of the Lord, and the law that endured forever. So the things that you've heard today are the things that endure forever. That is the way you must carry yourself. All they that keep it shall come to life. So everyone that does what? That adjusts and apply and allows the Most High in Yahushua, the Christ, to be with us and in us, shall come to life. Because we are going to get better and better and increase in spirit. You're supposed to be increased. You're supposed to be renewed in the spirit of your mind and your thinking, your judgment, your behavior, your application, your faith, your humility, to where then you learn to serve great men with ease. You learn to deal with a lot of people. Because now you become builders amongst your people. In your house first, in the congregation, secondly, and then thirdly, in your community. First within yourself, then your house, then your church, then your community. Some people go straight out to the community. Yeah. They learn in Israel, they go straight out. Yeah. Sure. Go ahead, Hot.
I had just something about this, what he said, because it's true. I had a brother communication, we was talking, and told me that the spirit was back. But easy. I told the brother I could speak on because I was trying to get out of him what he was saying because he ain't called for it. But eventually he spoke about it and he was saying that he felt bad because he couldn't help a brother in the scripture because what the brother was talking about or whatever they had said, he was stumped like he didn't have nowhere to go. And somebody else walked up and I guess brought forth a couple of precepts that helped. And so I just told him the order. It's on these words that the brother was just got done speaking. And we have to put the work in it spiritually for himself and study and things like that and build
Right.
at home and be in fellowship with men that you know are gonna help you and not being just out of the vain glory look upon it as something special.
Right.
That's true.
So we got to do that. We got to work on ourselves first. We have to work on ourselves. We got to work on ourselves. Our house, a lot of times it takes time. And if it takes time, then it takes time. But you don't skip from 1 to 4. It don't work like that. If you ain't got yourself together, there's no need of going out there. There's no need. You work on yourself first. Get yourself together. Okay? Most High, that's the order. That's how the Most High deal. Then you work on your house. How's your house? You got yourself, you ready, but the house is still not understanding. There's trouble, tribulation, there's temptation in the house. Do you do it anyway? The answer is no. If you can't rule your own house, how you going to take care of the church? That's you out there without Christ, and Christ ain't in you for doing it. Disobedient. So it take what it takes. You'll know when they start repenting and understanding and applying it. Then the experience that you've learned from going through those things, that's what you're going to teach, because that is the thing that Israel needs help with. You understand? They need help with that. When I'm out teaching and there's a problem with a family, brother, you don't even really got to tell me about it. You can tell me about the woman because the scriptures do say understand first. So it's kind of like hard not to listen to them. But the responsibility falls in your hands, brother. You at fault for what you're doing. Because if you're complaining about some woman, well, 9 times out of 10, whether it's in the world, or 10 times out of 10, it may be, let me give it 9.999. Some woman you met at the club, in the street, at the mall. You understand? It's something that you did wrong that's against the scriptures. So I go into dealing with the brother. Ain't even about the woman. So when we're finished with him, he understands I never should even dealt with that woman. But he had all the complaints about the woman. You're trying to get this woman to act right when you never dealt right. You never, because we don't know how to deal with women until we talk to Lord of Most High. You understand? So you can't be out there teaching somebody on how to deal with anything until you yourself have got yourself together and you understand your faults and your past. So it starts with self. And if then that ain't the case, then you go to the next thing. Well, this is how you run a household. Okay? What the Most High say he know about Abraham in Genesis 3? He said, hey, for I know him that he going to command his house after him to keep the ways of the Lord. So you're supposed to be commanding your house, not your wife pushing the buttons and pulling the strings. There's a lot of men in Israel like that too. The woman pull the strings or push the buttons. He may pretend. You know, I've seen this. You know, it's this brother that I know in the world. You understand? I do work for him. Now, among men, the brother might have total control over his business. He know how to conduct his business. A shrewd businessman. He know how to deal with other men. Another man, you can't clown him. You can't clown him. You can't get over. Shrewd when it comes to men. But he's in a situation to where a woman is making a plumb fool of him. When this brother in privity was seeking my counsel and advice, I was stunned. I learned every day. I was stunned that a man with his type of authority, and he knows how to conduct his business, and he a certain way with men, but he let a woman get over him. When I say let a woman get over him, I'm talking about straight play him like a child. When I say play him like a child, like you would actually treat a child. Never saw that coming out this brother. The point is, people don't know how to run their house. We teach people how to run their houses. So if your house ain't together, what you gonna tell somebody how to do with their house in their house? Nothing. But you go skip number 4? You're gonna go out to 4. I'm in the streets. What are you doing out here, man? Christ showed up. What are you going to say to Christ? Christ going to talk to you about what?
1, 2, and 3.
Yes, sir. 1, 2, and 3. What happened to the congregation? The congregation is lacking. Okay. What are you doing out here? He ain't going to just say, okay, let me get the mic. I'm going to teach with you. He's going to start teaching you. When you ought to be teachers, then you have one need to teach you. So, that's not how we want to be. I think that's where we got to that point. You don't want to be like that. You don't want that to be you. This is the book of the commandments of the Most High. And the law that endure forever. All that keep it shall come to life. So we have to keep it. It starts with us. Individually. So everybody, man, go home and work on yourself. Stop thinking about what somebody else is doing. Make sure that inside of you, your mind is not deceiving you, man. And it's not full of darkness. Work on yourself. Yes, we all got faults. We have faults. And as an assembly of Israel, man, we all going to worry about ourselves. And we're going to collectively, next time when we brush shoulders with each other and we have a conversation with one another, because we've been trying hard, our next meeting should be very pleasant. When we talk to each other, because we've heard this class and we've listened, when we say something to each other, it should be out of respect and love for the Most High, because we're trying to do the right thing. We're not looking at you and your faults and what you do and blinding on ourselves. We see and know that we have sin, we have fault. So we're going to address ourselves. Let's address ourselves. And therefore, like I said, when we happen to say something to each other, it's gonna be charitable. It's gonna be nice, man. It's gonna be respectful. Because we trying to prove to ourselves that the light and spirit inside of us is a good spirit, and it's gonna lead us to light. And we're not corrupt. All right. So it says, and the Lord that endure forever, all that keep it shall come to life. So we're gonna prove to ourselves we can keep it. For such as leave it shall die. So we're gonna fear that. Okay. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. So that's what the Most High is asking us, to turn and take hold of it. Take hold of his lesson. And do something about it. And don't let it escape you, man. Don't let it slip by. Don't let it go away. It says, walk in the presence of
The host has joined the conference.
All right, so Baruch chapter 4 and 2, it says, turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. See what the Lord is asking us? Take hold of the law so that we can endure. Walk in the presence. Walk in the presence of the light thereof. So the light is showing us. The law is showing us the light. We got to walk in it, that thou mayest be illuminated. Illuminated means glow. So if you want to glow, and you want to shine, and you want to look good, and you want to be highly favored, and you want to be renowned, guess what? Walk in the laws. You'll look good. You know, a lot of brothers say that we're the real Illuminati. We meaning illuminated. That's what they're meaning, brother. That's what they're meaning. You know what I'm saying? Okay. We run everything. All right? Because of the laws. So let's make sure that we walk in the laws of the Most High and that we're shining. We're shining as lights. We're getting it done right. And we're getting it done. But you have to do that. You got to stop moving so fast. You have to slow it down. And you have to think. You have to use your thoughts. Your thought process. What am I doing? What am I saying? What am I going to say? What's going to happen? What's going to be the outcome? How am I going to be looked at? How am I going to be thought upon? It says, give not thine honor to another. This is what happened. I want y'all to pay attention. This is what happened. When our foreparents, now we're their children. Let's say we're the children of the Israelites. So we come from people that did this. They gave the honor to another. And that's the reason why you see all the other nations with wealth and riches. Because of the breaking of the laws. So it's gonna be worse for us and the same fate if we don't walk in it. If we walk in it, then we're gonna have success. Give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable. See, profitable to a strange nation. It's too late. It already happened. But we can take our stuff back. We got to do it by walking first, getting ourselves together. Don't worry about nobody else. O Israel, happy are we, for the things that are pleasing to the Most High are made known unto us. Be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel. The Most High is always going to remember us. You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath. You were delivered unto the enemies. For you provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to God. So we didn't listen to the Most High. We listened unto spirits. Don't do that today. Don't trust in your mind. Not if it's going against the scriptures. You have forgotten the everlasting God, which is the Most High, the power that brought you up and that grieved Jerusalem, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed thee. In other words, the Most High gave us the land of Israel and Jerusalem. And that land was supposed to be good for us if we took care of it. You see how we run down our cities and our neighborhoods and our communities and our blocks? That's how we did our country. Therefore, the Most High allowed it to go desolate because we grieved it by not taking care of it. So you're not supposed to do that. You do it when you don't take care of your house. It goes to ruins. So everything that our foreparents did wrong, we have to do right. Verse 9. For when she saw the wrath of the Most High coming upon you, she said, Hearken, O ye that dwell about Zion. The Most High hath brought upon me great mournings. For I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting brought upon them. With joy did I nourish them, but sent them away weeping and mourning. So Jerusalem said goodbye to us every time we went in and out of captivity. Let no man rejoice over me, a widow and forsaken of many. Who for the sins of my children am left what? Desolate. So it's telling you that our land is desolate now. Because they departed from the law of the Most High. So it's giving you an answer on why. Why the slavery, why the land is desolate, and how the Most High felt about us when we were in the land. That we didn't take care of it. We didn't take care of it. It shows you. We don't take care of our community now. See, when you don't have the laws inside of you, the common sense to take care of your personal items is not inside of you. We're not talking about a few that live amongst the Gentiles that have money and they get other people to take care of. They're lazy as hell. They just have money to have other people do it. But you put them back in the same situation. You take that money and you put them in the same situation that you're in. They ain't going to cut their grass or paint their house. Put their floors up and replace their floors and fix the leaking pipes their own. Get up on the roof and patch up. They're not going to do that. We never did that. We've been slothful and lazy people for a very long time. Now, there are some people among us that do provide and take care of, that Most High is going to gather them together and put them together. But a mass majority of the people are very slothful and lazy. And the Lord has always had an issue, a problem with us. That's why I tell you. We destroyed our land by not taking care of it. Don't be that type of people. You got to forsake that mind state of being slothful and lazy and not law-abiding Israelites. Okay? Verse 13, it says, they knew not his statutes, nor walked in the ways of his commandments, nor trod in the path of discipline in his righteousness. So what would make them forget the statutes to where they couldn't walk in his ways? The word that was around them. Don't let that happen to us. When it says trod in the paths of discipline, meaning the Most High will correct us and show us what's right, but we won't desire it. Don't let that be you. Because discipline, according to the wisdom of Solomon, it brings us to a kingdom. So you have to desire the discipline. You have to desire to want to be corrected. You have to desire to want to know what's right. Because that's what's going to show you, that's what's going to lead you to the mansions. And it's okay to spend all of your life in this truth. That's the way it's supposed to be. Us as adults that have a portion of the time in the world to where we committed sins, we're very sorry for those sins. We're sorry for that life. We wish that we had the lives of the Israelites that were born in the truth from day one and that had parents, lead, guides, coaches, teachers, prophets, ministers, examples. And we wish that we had that from day one and that we never had to go through the wickedness. So don't, because you have to spend every day in the truth, every day under scrutiny of being disciplined and directed. Don't despise that. The scriptures say don't despise the chastening of the Lord. For whom the Lord chastened, he loved it, and scourged every son whom he received, because it's going to take a perfect person to make it into the kingdom of the Lord. There's nothing there, son. Nothing else that can stop being a distraction. Okay? So, Baruch chapter 4. And verse 14. Let them that dwell about Zion come and remember ye the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting have brought upon them. For he hath brought a nation upon them from far, and a shameless nation, and of a strange language, who neither reverence old man nor pity a child. So this is showing you about the people that we've befriended. What did he say? He said they came from far, Georgia, Russia mountains. They were very shameless. Okay? That's why you see sex in the city, fornication, brawling, drunkenness, the eating of unclean foods. Okay? Any and every lawless thing and abominable thing that's written in the scriptures, the holy scriptures, you see them doing. The Lord said, and they're not embarrassed about it. They're not ashamed about it. They're shameless. So we're not supposed to be like that. That makes us dark inside. That confuses our mind. We're not supposed to sneak a peek. We're not supposed to long and be curious about that. It corrupts us. Communication with them corrupts us. Because they are evil people. They a strange language who neither reverence old man. They don't care about your parents, about your fathers or grandfathers. They didn't then, they don't now. And the youth, when you get old, they're not going to care about you. Our only hope is in the Most High. Without the Most High, Ephesians 2 tells us that there is no hope without the Most High. Ephesians 2 and 12. There is no hope in this world without the Most High. You'll be given it because we're already in subjection to these people. You'll be put in their hands. And when you break the Most High's laws, that means you're going to be doing things that they don't like too, and they'll get a hold to you. And they don't pity children either. It's to the point now you can't even surrender in the street. These have carried away the dear beloved children of the widow. The widow is Jerusalem, remember? And left her that was alone, desolate, without daughters. But what can I help you? For he that brought these plagues upon you will deliver you from the hands of your enemies. Go your way, O my children, go your way, for I am left desolate. I have put off the clothing of peace and put on me the sackcloth of my prayer. I will cry unto the everlasting in my days. Be of good cheer, O my children, cry unto the Lord, and he shall deliver you from the power and hand of the enemies. So Christ told us that when he told us what? Matthew 6 and 9, the Lord's Prayer, that we pray for the kingdom to come. So that is Christ praying for the death and the destruction of America? You're doggone right. So in order for the kingdom to come, what has to happen? America has to fall. And he has to slay those that did what? That pierced him. He has to destroy these nations and bring them down. For my hope is in the everlasting, Luke chapter 4:22, that he will save you. You see? So in order for Christ to save us, the Most High to save us, he has to deliver us from the hand of our enemies and the hand of our oppressors. Okay? Luke 24, hold this. I just want this one little part there. Not Luke, Matthew. What did I say? I said, what is it? I'm sorry, Luke 1. Luke 1 and 68. It says, blessed be the Lord, the power of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. You see that? So does the Most High does Christ want the nations to fall? Yes. He don't want us to remain in their hands. To perform the mercy promised to our fathers and to remember his covenant. What is the covenant? That the elders shall serve the younger. And that Israel should take the kingdom and possess the kingdom, and that we should rule over all our oppressors. Okay? So now let's go back to Baruch. Baruch chapter 4. Okay, in verse 18, for he that brought these plagues upon you will deliver you from the hands of your enemies. Go your way, O my children, go your way, for I am desolate. Jump down to verse 21. I think I stopped there. Be of good cheer, O my children, cry unto the Lord. That means pray. And he shall deliver you from the power and hand of your enemies. For my hope is in the everlasting, that he will save you. And joy is come unto me from the Holy One, because of the mercy which shall soon come unto you from the everlasting, our Savior. For I send you out with mourning and weeping, but the Most High will give you to me again with joy and gladness forever. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our God. So all the neighbors of Zion, meaning all the nations, they have seen your captivity. They know you're in captivity. It's just a lot of Israelites, they need to wake up. The nations, they know who you are. They see you in captivity. There are a lot of posts on social media to where, if I'm not mistaken, I shared one. I wish I had an overhead so I can show y'all that this Arabic man is talking about the true Israelites on how the Europeans are oppressing the Negroes and how we're the real Israelites. So people know who you are. We need to continue to grow mentally, spiritually, physically, and put your emotions and set your affections on high, towards the Most High. Want the Most High to deliver us, but before that, along with that, want to change, because that's how we help each other. We help each other through change. Okay? So where we stop at verse 24. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, verse 25, my children, suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from God. For thine enemy have persecuted thee, but surely thou shalt see his destruction, and shall tread upon what? His neck. You see that? So there is no place for a dual rulership. That don't exist. Y'all remember this. It's not hatred, it's spiritual. It's what's right. This is what's right. My delicate ones have gone rough ways and were taken away as a flock caught of the enemies, like stolen sheep, stolen cattle. Be of good cheer, O children, and cry unto the Most High, for he shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. Ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. That means that you guys got to put effort in it. You got to put effort into it. Your effort has got to be 10 times stronger and harder. You got to really be trying, man. You have to really be, you have to exhaust yourself, man. You have to deplete your spirit. You got to be willing to forsake and give all. Be in return. To activate these blessings according to Deuteronomy 28 and get the salvation. According to Matthew 1:21. But he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy again with your salvation. Meaning joy that's not going to stop. It's going to continue and it's going to be forever. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave you that name will comfort you. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice at thy fall. So the Most High said they're going to go into misery. Miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that conceived thy sons. Do we understand what this is saying? All nations are going to have what type of spirit? Miserable. They're going to hate it. Because we live a miserable life. They're going to get it double. That's right. They're going to get it double. If you think that you catching hell in high water, they dogging you out, no health care, you can't be seen, the first thing they want to do. What's that Minister Society they go in because the boy is shot and they want to see the insurance card? Yeah. Tell your children, don't climb the trees. Don't climb a tree. You sprain your ankle, man, you can't go to the doctor. You got no money. They dogging you out, bro. They dogging Israel out. And they know that. Our grocery stores full of processed food and snacks and sugar. Their stores, fruits and vegetables. They dogging you out. Most High said they're going to get misery. Double time. I'm going to read that again. Baruch chapter 4:31. Miserable are they that afflicted thee. And rejoice that they fall. And for they see you falling, they happy. They're happy to see you up under. Miserable are the cities which thy children served. The places where they going to be at, miserable. Miserable is she that conceived thy sons. The ones that receive, not conceive, that receive thy sons. They're going to be miserable. Watch. You keep these commandments and you're going to see and understand how things are going to change. The same way that the light changed from the sky changed from dark to light. It's an amazing thing. You try to do that. You can't never do that. You can't get that sky to change, man. You're just so used to that wonder. The same way that the Most High is going to turn your darkness to light and turn their light to darkness. He's going to turn their world inside out, upside down. Hell from beneath is going to meet them. They're going to be miserable, bro. Verse 33. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude. White pride. White light. And united, and all the nations united together. They're strong country. They're strong nation. We self-destruct at a very alarming rate. It's astonishing in what we do to each other. It's as if we're at war And we turning around killing our own soldiers because of grief or because of disagreements and grief towards each other. But we're trying to fight a war and battle against our oppressors. Can you imagine that? You're in the trenches and somebody don't like something about you, something that you might have said or did, and they turn, and instead of knowing that you need that person as a soldier, they turn and put you to death. That's what's happening. That happens to us a lot more than it happens to them. How often do you hear about white on white crime? In all the cities, man, you hear about this murder and that murder, this murder and that murder. These nations are not destroying themselves like that. Therefore, there is a big multitude of them. Verse 34, I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure. It's been a long time coming. And she shall be inhabited of doubles for a great time. O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east. And that's why we pray towards home. And behold the joy that cometh from thee from the Most High. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sendest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of the Most High. Okay? So, that's it. All right? Go ahead.
When you said about, you spoke on the United Nations and things like that, my spirit moved to look up what nations are part of the United Nations. My mind was like, I definitely no Israelite, nation.
Right.
And the nations that are part of the United Nations says the UN officially came into existence on 24 October 1945 after ratification of the United Nations Charter by the 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council: the Republic of China, the Moabites, France, the Soviet Union, all Edomites, the United Kingdom, all Edomites, and the United States, a majority of the other signatories. So I guess the point that, I kind of looked this up was the United Nations is built upon nations that maybe had us in captivity, but no Israel, like Mexico, Jamaica, none of the countries where Israel dwells is a part of it. And so it just goes to the point that's coming out through the Spirit that, they rejoice on keeping us, down and problems and things like that. Because even all those places where Israelites dwell that's not in America, they ran down too. They told them that. The Israelites that live amongst the, in America, we are oppressed and housed, but all our people, everywhere we dwell, is like Christ.
All right. So let's see. Any brothers on conference, y'all got something to add? Matthew 26. Matthew 26:6. It's now when Christ was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment. And she poured it on his head as he said and meat. When his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment had been sold for much and given to the poor. When Christ understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman be done for a memorial of her. So all praises to the Most High for giving her the Spirit to come forth and give Christ some comfort for his burial, and also a beautiful example of bringing forth the fruits of repentance. Somebody that was out of the world that heard the ministry of Christ and the gospel of the Most High, and repented at the teaching of the commandments. All right, so the Lord's Communion, 1 Corinthians 11. And 23. For I received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto you, that the Lord Yahushua, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread, and when he had given thanks, he take it. He brake it and said, take, eat, this is my body which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. After the same manner also he took the cup when he had supped, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me. For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you do show the Lord's death till he come. Wherefore, whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the body and blood of the Lord. But when a man examine himself, so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. But he that eateth and drinketh unworthily, eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body. For this cause many are weak and sickly among you, and many sleep. But we will judge ourselves, we should not be judged. But when we are judged, but chasten the Lord, that we should not be condemned with the world.